And now, after years of planning, sweating, and going broke, here is the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
I'll alert the media.
Why they would give this man a podcast is anyone's guess.
Then there is what could only be a bizarre coincidence or something else.
Welcome to the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Country music and fine moonshine. Finally, a podcast that lets it all hang out.
Let's level with America.
Got your boots? Ready for some whiskey?
These boots are made for walking.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
And now, the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Hey everyone, Jim here, Boots and Whiskey Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the show. This is episode number 298. I can't honestly, excuse my language for those of you tuning into us from Australia, but I can't fucking believe it. We have like my mind is blown by this. I need you to understand this because we got a lot of things coming up. First of all, we have Lily Grace on the show today. She is an Australian country artist that has moved here to Nashville. Here, I don't live in Nashville. I don't know why I said here, but here to the States. She's in Nashville. She's doing it. She's absolutely incredible. Like, this girl, like, just wait till you hear her story. Like, it's so cool. We talk a lot about the differences between the States and Australia. Absolutely fantastic young lady. Like, absolutely adore this girl. I can't wait to see what she does going forward. But so I'm gonna let that stuff happen in the episode, right? But a few things coming up with us. Thursday, it's Tuesday today. Thursday, we turned 4 years old. It's our 4-year anniversary of doing the show, and there's days where it feels like it's been a million years, and there's days where it feels like we just started. And honestly, without you guys, we don't do this show. But without you guys, we don't do this show. So thank you for everything for the last 4 years. It's been a huge honor. Next Tuesday, we will be releasing episode number 300. As of right now, that's the plan. Friday, we're going to release another special episode. Our friend Clayton Johnson comes out with an EP on Friday, so we're going to release that then. And then next Tuesday will be episode 300. Whew, with an artist that I absolutely adore, as long as everything goes well in the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that. Some things are going to be changing around here, I think, after episode 300, mostly graphics-wise and things like that. So if you're here for the first time or the 300th time, we greatly appreciate you being here, like, from the bottom of our heart. We really do. Sit back, relax, enjoy this conversation. If you've never been here before, you're in for a ride. Like, we just shoot the shit. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing super professional. We just like to have fun and get to know who our guests are. So that's what we do here. If you've never checked out our socials, go do that. Everything is at Boots and Whiskey Podcast. And that's really it, guys. Sit back, relax, enjoy. And we'll see you on the flip side to let you know what we got coming up this weekend. So enjoy and cheers, guys. We really don't do it kind of like everybody else does. It's very chill, laid back.
Well, I feel privileged to be here. It's great.
Yeah, well, I'm psyched that you're here. I was thinking about it before I came on, and I'm awful at this, whole thing, where, I don't look into my guests. I don't know anything about you, to be totally honest with you. I know a little bit, right? But, I did, a quick, jump through it. I think you might be the first non-American we have had on this show.
Oh my goodness. That's so cool. Yeah, it's so good to be here.
Yeah, I don't count Canadians.
G'day Boots and Whiskey Podcast.
Wow. Damn. So, we're going to get into a lot of things, right?
Okay.
But we have to talk about the elephant in the room and you being from Australia.
Yes. Big elephant. I'm from Australia, way down south, and I moved to America 4 months ago, which is so cool. I'm so happy to be here doing the whole thing. but again, it's so cool because there's so many cultural differences. I just get to dive in and soak it all up, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it must be a huge culture shock.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, and like your accent isn't bad, right? But like I might have to subtitle for some people in other places.
Potentially. It's
You know?
hilarious. I've been going a little rogue on social media, and I did this post the other day, and you could say anything with enough confidence, and because I come from so far away, people believe it. And I'm telling them that we don't ride horses in Australia, we ride kangaroos, that we drink Vegemite milkshakes, all this nonsense, and I'm just having the best time with it. It's been hilarious.
Yeah. And like, you know what? Not for nothing, like I can say this, right? But Americans are stupid, so we'll believe anything.
I'm not saying that.
No, you don't have to. I do, because
Oh,
we
gosh.
are dumb. You know? Now, so like, we'll get to the music, right? But like, I
Okay.
am so fascinated by the fact that you upped your whole life to come here, right? So what have been like some of the biggest differences and changes that you have seen just in the time you've lived here full time?
Gosh, there's so many. I feel like just even like general terminology, there are so many words I use that you guys don't use. Like just simple stuff. Like I go to order a Subway and I'll order it with capsicums and coriander, and that's cilantro and peppers for you guys.
Yeah.
Driving on the other side of the road was a big one. For me, when I first started adjusting, the first time I drove, I freaked the heck out. Like I
Yeah.
was shaking. What is going on? This is insane. But I've adjusted now, which is good. But I feel really thankful because you guys have like welcomed me with open arms, which is not something I take lightly. So I feel
Mm.
like I get to embrace the American culture, and you guys teach me about, how you were raised, your terminology and everything like that. So I feel very thankful to be immersed in your culture and just embraced in that way. It's great.
Now let me ask you, right? Because the culture here in America, I mean, obviously it's all I know, right?
Sure.
Now, culturally, are we that different from you guys?
I'd say honestly a lot of things are quite similar. Like where I come from a beach town. Like we have this term called bogans, which I guess is kind of like I don't know how you'd compare it to Americans, but bogans in Australia are people who are like have no ego. They wear flip flops everywhere. They have barbecues for meals. Like they just embrace life. They don't care about any ego or anything like that. And I feel like that's also in the South. That's such a cultural thing, which is great. And there are so many people who just like love a good chat, love a good banter, love a good laugh, and love a good beer. And that's just the vibe, which is
Yeah.
great. But one thing that's really been tripping me out is sarcasm isn't understood by a lot of people here. And I keep seeming like a bully to everyone because I make these
Oh,
sarcastic comments and no one gets them. I'm like, I swear I'm not a
no,
terrible
dude,
person.
that's because you're in the South, right?
Maybe.
In Nashville, because so I'm up in New England, and
Okay,
we are
cool.
super sarcastic and like
Really?
we're very dry, very like if we're not making fun of you in some sort of way, then we don't like you. Like if
I'm going
we're
to come
not
hang out with you guys.
right, that's how it is. Like
Crazy.
we come off as mean, but it's just you know
Sarcastically mean.
right, right. It's funny because my youngest watches Bluey, right?
Okay.
So I know it's totally different. I'm sure of it, right? But like you hear some of the Australian stuff in that show, right?
Okay.
And like my 5-year-old, he'll run around and think that's where he's from and think that's what it's all about.
I mean, it's so funny. I mean, like the image of Australia to a lot of Americans, I've been asked some funny questions. And do you guys ride like kangaroos to school? Like, do kangaroos, like, are they in the street? Do they run around? I've even been asked how I went with the language barrier coming from Australia to America. Like, it's such an entertaining thing for me. And as well, like someone who comes from such a faraway place, I didn't know too much about American culture until I got here. So I had the same kind of questions. So I think it's just so cool for me. We can share like different parts of the world, come from so far away, but then have such close friendships. It's really awesome.
Yeah. Now, what about the food? I'm always
Mm.
interested in like food and that sort of thing when like different places.
Yeah, I love Australian coffee. I've grown up on it, and that's my mecca over there. But have you tried Vegemite, Jim?
What?
Have you tried Vegemite?
I don't even know what the hell you just said.
You don't know what Vegemite is?
No.
I'm gonna send you a package of Vegemite. Next time I go back
Okay.
to Australia, I'll bring some with me. I don't have any on me now, but Vegemite is like this. It's like a condiment. You guys have peanut butter or something, but it's like yeast extract or something. It sounds disgusting, but it's salty and it's like the Australian staple. So we have stuff like that. I wouldn't say too much is different, but there's things we don't have in Australia. We don't have funnel cakes. We don't have cornbread. We don't have root beer floats. We don't have candy apples. There's a bunch of
What?
things that just don't exist there either. So
How do you live? How did you live all your life, Lily, without all those
clearly
things?
I'm thriving now, aren't
Right,
I?
right. You're like everything. Like that is like staple cuisine here in the States. No, but do you? All right. Do you actually eat kangaroo? Is that like a real thing?
I've never tried it, but people do. I think that's terrible that I come from Australia. I've never tried it, but
That sounds
yeah.
disgusting.
Apparently it's like a lot of the bodybuilders eat it because it's got such a low body fat percentage because they jump
Really?
around so much.
Right,
Yes.
right,
Never tried
right.
it though.
Well, like it's funny. Like, in the States, a lot of people will eat like deer or venison or however.
Yeah.
I've never had that either.
Really, neither have I. There
Yeah,
you go.
no, to me that sounds disgusting too.
Okay. Well, we can bond over that. That's awesome.
There we go. There we go. But you guys eat crocodile, right?
I've never eaten crocodile. People might, but I
Yeah,
can
see,
speak to that.
I mean, Floridians do that weird shit, so I don't get into that. But
Oh gosh.
that's wild. I love that. I love that. Now, so all right, you had mentioned Australian coffee. Now, what's the difference between ours and yours?
We don't have creamer in Australia. That's not a thing at all. So it's like milk, I guess, and you just do the
Okay.
thing or like an espresso or whatever it would be. But the brew just tastes totally different. I wouldn't know how to explain it, but it's a lot stronger, and that's just what I've grown up being used to. I went back home for a month of touring last month, and I tell you what, like I was on 2 Australian coffees a day to soak it up while I was there. Love your guys. Nothing wrong with yours. Just when you're used to something and
Yeah.
you love it, it's like, oh, this is not what I wanted.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Now, all right. I have one more stupid American question
Okay.
for you. Do toilets really go backwards? Like when you flush them, do they
I have
go?
no idea. I have no idea.
Okay. All right.
I need to pay more attention next time, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I need to know that. I need to know.
Serious questions over here, guys.
Now, so from what I saw, your career, music-wise, in Australia, was pretty big.
It's been really cool. We've had a bunch of amazing experiences, and I feel thankful. I've been doing it since I was tiny and just running after it. And in the last year, especially, we've just had a bunch of cool things happening. We've been busy, we've been running after it, and you can't ask for anything more as someone who loves their job.
Right. Now, how do you in a way decide to almost start that career over coming here?
Yeah.
Or has it been a start over?
Yes and no. It's my goal has been Nashville forever. Like once I found out about this faraway place where country music dreams do come true and took my first trip over here, I fell in love with the city. Like there's this aura of people just creatively pouring themselves into music every single day. And there's this passion and drive for creative arts and people who want to make a career out of this. And it's a real thing in Nashville. And once I got a taste of that, I was like, I have to be there. Like, this is the coolest thing. If I want to do it, if I want to hone my craft, Nashville is the place to be. So for me, like, honestly, I owe so much to the Australian scene. People who bought tickets to shows, bought albums, people who supported me and put me on lineups, played my song on the radio. It's the reason I get to come over here and pursue it. But it's really cool because I feel like it's something I've been working towards for such a long time. And I have a great management deal here who is supporting me and just pushing me. We're touring a little bit coming up. But again, I am a really new artist in the States and someone I'd been in the Australian scene for so long, doing pretty quality gigs, doing pretty cool things.
Yeah.
It is in a way a bit of a restart, but at the same time, it's not because I have the finalized product. I've had the experience of doing everything I did back home.
Sure.
And I guess I kind of understand the operation of how it works, but it's just a completely different market and a much bigger market too,
Yeah.
which I guess is scary in a way, but also super exciting that I get to dive into that and just run after it as hard as I can.
Right. Now, us here, like, we're we know of Keith Urban and
Hmm.
whatnot, right? Um, but Australia itself, they love country music.
They do. It's hilarious because we have like every American I meet is like my biggest country of listenership is Australia. Like I need to go play shows there. Like every country artist I meet um is such a prominent country music consumer, and it's really really cool to come from that and see everyone going to Australia. There's this big export program they're working on bringing people in, and just seeing Australian artists come to Nashville and do the same thing. I feel like the American music scene and the Australian music scene are working together to just help each other cross pollinate and export globally, which is awesome. But yeah, I'm really proud to come from where I come from. There's a great community of people, and again, I owe everything to them.
Right. It's funny you say that because for even for us, like outside of the U.S. and Canada, like Australia is like number three for our
Really?
Australia, New Zealand. Like it's the 3, 4 of people who
Wow.
are listening or watching this podcast for
How it
things
works
that
out,
I
hey?
can see. Yeah,
So
it's
cool.
wild.
So cool.
Yeah, yeah. So like, what is the biggest difference between our country music, right, and Australian country music? Is there a difference?
Um, I mean, I know the industry is a lot smaller. Like, I know everyone in the Australian country music scene just because it's, such a small market and a tight knit group of people who love on each other. Um, I guess sound wise, I feel like in America, people go a couple more directions, and maybe that's just the scale of the size of the scene. There's more people trying different things.
Sure.
Um, but I feel like there's kind of two lanes in Australia right now. There's the real traditional stuff, and there's the pop country rock stuff, and that's kind of
Okay.
the two lanes. And then in America, there's also more of the bluegrass stuff, and there's totally like the rock, the rap country, and there's all these different moving parts. And maybe that does happen in Australia, but not to the same scale it does here. And that's honestly more than anything probably just a population thing.
Sure.
Um, but I just love I think what's cool about America is they have Nashville, which is like the mecca for country music. There isn't really a mecca for country music in Australia. Everyone's kind of spread out in their places. They'll come together and collaborate. But in the American music scene, everyone who works in country music, 95% of them live in Nashville and work
Right.
together, collaborate. And I think that's the cool thing about it is to be in a city where you can immerse yourself into it, really quickly get plugged into a community of people who are built into that and just work on that scene.
Right. Right. Now, so like on Australian country radio, right? Are
Hmm.
you getting like the Luke Combs of the world and like American big American artists like that, or is it just strictly, whoever's big in Australia?
No, it totally depends on the station. There are some stations that play only Australians. There are some stations that play 80% American. There are some that play 50-50. And that's just on the station's individual programming and what they want to support and play. Um, but it's really cool because a lot of the time we've got this big festival that happens and you hear all these American country songs, and then like 4 months later they all appear and they're actually in Australia playing shows. So
That's awesome.
it's awesome. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Like I wish they would do that here on country radio because like, you know, I don't know the Australian scene at all. I wish I
Sure.
did.
Hmm.
But the same thing is happening in Canada, and they're not far from us.
Sure.
There are Canadian country music artists that I would say are, I hate to say the word, but are better than some of the Americans that we have on the radio. And, you know, the scale of what they're doing in Canada is like the same as, what Luke Combs would be doing,
Sure.
and nobody knows who the hell they are. It's so wild to me. Like if
It's
you're
so
not in this
interesting.
industry, you have no idea.
Sure. It's so crazy because you even see, like, I just find it such a fascinating thing how this whole thing works. There are people who will play a city and will pull 4,000 people in that city and then not 200 in the next city, which is
Right?
just, that's the way the industry works. And it's where I guess you've built your market, where you've got your fan base and where you've got your
Yeah.
contacts. Um, but a cool thing can be a cool thing anywhere. And I think, if we can keep on working on projects to work together and share, I know so many people want to come to Australia, and I'm always a champion. And how can I help make that happen for you? Because it is such a cool thing to, I know firsthand as someone who's come as an international, to share my music with a new market of people and to connect with people from so far away, hear their stories. It's an eye opening thing, and it's really special to
Yeah.
encourage each other and help you do that.
Now, since you've been here and kind of making in a way a transition,
Hmm.
right? do you find that you have to write songs differently or play songs differently here than you would in Australia?
Um, it's really funny. When I sing, I have no Australian accent. I fully sound American. That's always
Right.
been how I've sung. I guess it's how I was taught and my influences. I'm not sure. But I think the main thing would just be in songwriting rooms. My producer will pick me up if I'm singing something in an Australian accent because we are going for American playlisting, American
Sure.
radio play, and making sure I'm not sounding Australian, I guess, with the accent and singing. But also just in the songwriting rooms, there's a lot of phrases I use that would make no sense to a lot of you guys.
Right.
So I typically write with a lot of Americans who'll pull me up on that if I'm saying something that would not work in this sphere or just make any logical sense to you too.
Right. Now, do you find it easy to explain what you mean? Like, when the phrases are different or like, the words are different, where it's like, okay, like, all right, well, this is what an American would mean, or vice versa. Or if we say something that you don't quite understand.
Most of them are pretty straightforward, to be honest, but
Okay.
I find it funny when I get to yapping. Sometimes people just look at me confused as because I'm going on about nonsense in their eyes, but
Right. Right. I mean, and, we, and then that's funny because, in this country, like there's so many different pockets of people
Mhm,
and, and like everybody has their own dialect and their own words.
completely.
And, like I say things and like I know like some people that I know in Texas and in the South and in Nashville and whatever, and they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And it's
Yeah,
like, all right, well, this is what we'll
yeah.
say certain
Mhm.
words that sound bad, but they don't mean anything bad, and
No,
it's
even some of the southern people I know who are so southern, come from country places, they have all these slangs and different words they use, and I look at them like they're speaking Mandarin. Like it is crazy, like literally completely different to what I understand. But hey, that's the fun thing about it. We can learn from each other and grow our dialect in that
yeah,
way.
yeah. So since you've been here, what has been like the main focus? Are you writing? Are you playing out? Like what what has been the main thing you've been trying to accomplish in the last few months since really being here?
At the moment, building a US touring footprint. We've got an EP on the way, so my next single comes out May 30th. Um, Writing a ton. I'm in Nashville doing that during the week, and then we've got a Vegas run coming up, which will be really fun.
Nice.
Um, and just trying to build and connect with American audiences face to face. That's how I started things in Australia, was getting out, playing shows, shaking hands, and building authentic connections with people. And that's the exact same goal we have here, is to just go out, play good music, put on a good show, and shake people's hands and say thank you to being there.
Yeah.
And my manager and I are just working around the clock at the moment, finding out where people are who follow me on social media. And again, I've been doing this for so long and have connected with a bunch of people on socials but haven't met them in person. So it's a matter of, I guess, figuring out where they are, going and finding them and building in those places first, which has been
Yeah.
really fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now the crowds and the people that you've seen here in the States, how has the reception been?
Good. My accent is hilarious. Like I need to slow myself down when I'm talking, and I think it's the biggest phenomenon because I have this crazy accent when I'm talking, and then it goes away when I start singing. But
Yeah.
um, I feel so thankful. I really do feel like I've been welcomed with open arms by the American and US scene here. Um, I come from so far away, and to, I guess, be well received by people here is just a really special thing. And it's just so beautiful to connect with people who really, have such different upbringings.
Yeah. Now, when you were kicking around the idea of coming to Nashville and doing it here, what was the conversation like at home?
My parents are my biggest supporters, 100%. They are so lovely. My dad's really instilled in me that like you can do anything in life as long as you're going to work hard for it and you're going to set your mind to it and be persistent and be a good person while you do it.
Yeah.
Um, and I do fully believe that. And it was kind of like, if you're serious about this, we'll stand beside you. But as long as you run after it as hard as you can and give it your best shot. And my parents are my absolute rocks, and I call them twice a day. It's ridiculous, but it's always a shame though as well. I mean, to be so close to your family and be so far away from everything is a hard thing to do as well.
Sure.
I'm building a new circle here. I'm finding new friends. I'm finding my new local places, and all my friends and family are back home. So it's definitely a step towards something different in that way, but it's also a really cool step for my career.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we we tend to be kind of hard, Americans, and like just very like out for ourselves, right? Have how has that kind
You
we
were
get
really
deep
egging on Americans today.
we well, I'm just because we are like that's like the way we are, right? But like and like we talk a lot about how this industry kicks your ass, right? Have how do you feel sounds bad, but do you feel lonely being here without your family and your support system?
In a way, but I'm so busy chasing this thing as well, and I feel like that's kind of the difference. Like I am up every day writing songs. I'm after it, just trying to make things happen here.
Yeah,
Because I wanted to do it for so long. I do have a circle of friends here, but not to the extent I did back home. I really
sure.
have my people back home. And I'm definitely, still finding those people and just trying to find my circle of people here in the States. I know that's going to be a journey because, completely rebuilding a life somewhere new is not something to take lightly. Um, so, yes, in a way, absolutely. But also, no, because there's so many cool things that I get to do here that I don't get to do back home. I get
Right.
to meet so many cool musical people. I get to feel fulfilled in so many different ways. So, I guess it's just a trade off in that regard.
Yeah. So what is that? How does your day look? Is it like get up, write, whatever, and then at night you're playing out and showcasing yourself, or are certain days for certain things? Like how does that work?
Every single day is different, which is the funniest part about it. There is no routine ever. We just got off tour. We were on tour with Robin Ford this just recently, and my headline tour. And those days are hilarious. It's catch a plane in the morning, then go to the show, do that, and do your media, and it's so different. And
Yeah,
then when I'm in town, we try to block different times. I love writing, but try and do intense days of 2 writes a day, and then give another day for me to do some social media content. That's so much work as well, which is hilarious. I feel like I'm an influencer at the moment. I am
yeah,
posting so much for this new release and everything. Um, but really going heavy on the touring stuff at the moment too is a big bunch of work, and I don't have an agent here yet. So we're kind of doing that ourselves, and I'm reaching out to venues, cold calling them, emailing them, and working with my team to facilitate that. And it's a real grassroots project at the moment, just in that regard. We've definitely got some shows happening and stuff, but it's fun. It's reminding me of what I did when I first started in Australia in a way, just because I'm new to this scene. I have the experience and I have the, I guess, stage acumen and everything like that, but not as much the network that I did back home. So just building that, finding those people, finding my believers, and connecting with people is fun. It's like, let's get on the phone and find them. Let's go make some friends, and it's exciting, and it's also a bit of a slog, but it's really cool.
yeah. Now have people been like pointing you in certain directions and where to go and how to get to where you want to be?
100%. My management team, my guiding light at the moment, pointing me in directions. My distro team as well. Mainly people on my internal team, I guess, but I'm always having conversations, again, being in Nashville with people in the industry and seeing what people are doing, what strategies are they using, what are they doing over here, what kind of shows are they playing, how are they bringing crowds, how are they connecting with their fans. And I've always got an antenna up to kind of hear about that and see what they're doing and how I could incorporate that in my own strategy. So absolutely. But we're also just running after it, and when an opportunity comes, chasing every lead at the moment. It's been really, really cool.
Yeah, and I give a lot of crap to PR firms and all that because that's just how I do things. Um, because some of them are great. Some of them are really good, and some of them are just not. But um, the people you've aligned yourself with over at Core are like some of the best people
Oh,
in
I'm
this
happy to hear
industry.
that.
Like,
Thank you.
and like, trust me, if
I love them. They're my
they are
sisters. I love
great.
them.
They
Hmm.
are great. They've been super supportive of us, like from pretty much from the word go, and they didn't really have to be, and
Aw.
it's really nice and easy to work with people that care about what you're doing.
That's wonderful. There, I feel very thankful again, coming from so far away to be surrounded by a team of people who believe in you, who fight for you, and who are just genuinely good people. Thank you. It's been
Yeah.
awesome.
Like how much different is the industry itself, between here and there? Like the business side of it, right? Like forget about the songs and the people and the shows, like the behind the scenes stuff. How different is it?
That's a really interesting question. And honestly, I don't know if I can speak to it 100% because I've been here for like 3 months. I don't fully know the US scene.
Sure.
But I have been taking trips back and forth for a while. So I guess I have that understanding. I feel like there's a heavier focus on radio here in the way there is to Australia. We
Okay.
definitely have an Australian network, but there are events like CRS here where people fly in for country radio seminar
Right.
and radio people get to connect with artists. I guess just because of the size of the Australian scene, we don't have that kind of infrastructure. Um, but again, I think it's just a matter of scale. Like there are so many booking conferences, so many music conferences, songwriting conferences, and stuff like that in the States too, which I think is really cool. Um, but one thing I would say that kind of sticks out to me, I find that we do have like statewide, communities of music and stuff that we align with, but here you guys really really do have that, and Carolina have like their country music awards and everything like that, which is
Right.
wonderful. And there seems to be a really really rich community in specific areas, even
Yeah.
just genre specific, like the country Carolina people are a community of people, and there's foundations around that. We have like music organizations for a state, but it's not really genre specific, just I guess because of the size of it. um, so I think it's cool how there's, more communities to be a part of where you come from and to be connected to that plug of people. Um, but yeah, just I guess there's a few more initiatives and stuff maybe just
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah. It's so fascinating because it's like, I see it from this angle, right?
mm,
And it's cool to see somebody like you who had an had established themselves in a totally different country, right? And then come here and you know bring it here and do it here,
mm.
and like kind of like we've talked about, like almost from the ground up, even with having a footprint somewhere else.
Yeah, it's fun, it's cool, and it's ballsy, and I love it. It's great to
Yeah,
be here and do the whole thing.
it sure is. It sure is. And honestly, I don't know if I could have done it. Like I mean, I know I couldn't have done it. I'm a big wuss,
We're
but
gonna get you to Australia. You'll try some Vegemite
yeah,
one day.
yeah. I'll, I'd end up
That was a
stealing
no.
a koala or some shit.
Oh gosh.
Uh, I get beat up by one of those inmate kangaroos you got down there.
Inmate kangaroos. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
you ever see those ones on
No.
on the internet? Like they'll like stand up and they look like they've been in prison for 10 years and they're jacked.
Oh, yeah. I gotcha. I
Is
tell
that
you
just
what,
how kangaroos are?
some of them are evil. No shade to the kangaroos, but we used to go camping and
Listen, we
they
have a big kangaroo listenership, so
love the kangaroos, love Australia, but we used to go camping and the kangaroos stole everything. Like, I mean, we would
those
keep out,
assholes.
steal everything, beanies, jackets, food, anything, like gone. Yeah, I could not leave a single thing out from you. Can't go up to me because I'll kick you. So cheeky little buggers, I tell you
Yeah.
that.
Now, what about koalas? Are koalas out in the wild, or are those endangered out there?
Yeah, there are some. I wouldn't say I see them frequently, but you can see them in trees and stuff. And there's like koala crossing signs all over the road sometimes too. So you have to be careful and drive slowly. The zoos and stuff have them too. You can like hug a koala and pay $100 to do it if you wanted to.
I would do it.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to see one in real life.
they're cute.
They're yeah. No, I'm just super fascinated with the whole Australia thing. So don't mind me. I'm like a stupid,
Oh
whatever.
no, it's great.
But like, have you ever been to like the Steve Irwin Zoo?
I believe so. It would have been when I was little, but I do think so because I had a big bindi craze when I was younger.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
mhm.
girl, same.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because that looks cool. Because what they've done down there is like more, you know, habitat kind of stuff than zoo stuff. You know,
Sure.
that's so cool, man. I love it. I love it. So, when it comes to your music and I know you got some stuff coming out, and what's the plan after that?
Release wise, or
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm writing songs literally every single day here in Nashville. So new music, new music, new music, and I'm just really trying to pour my heart into what I'm doing and be authentic, as authentic as I can be. Um, I want to write songs that connect with people and make people feel seen, and I feel like the only way to do that is by being really honest, even if it's hard to, so people can connect with the music. So that's a goal for me at the moment. And then again, as I was saying, building the touring footprint and connecting with people face to face. I love
yeah,
nothing more than standing on a stage and meeting people, sharing stories, building friendships. I'm a big people person in that way, so I'm excited to get out and just keep on doing that here in the States.
yeah. So why don't you tell people how to keep in contact and where to follow you and how to follow you and where to listen and all that stuff so
Yeah,
that
thank you.
yeah,
Lily Grace Live, Lily Grace Live, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you're on. But best place to stay updated is my newsletter, which you can sign up to through my website, www.lilygracelive.com. And there's like a sign up page on there. We keep in touch on there.
yeah. I mean, your music's great, Lily. I
Thank
love
you.
I love your story. I love what you're doing. And anytime you guys get something coming out, just let us know, and
I appreciate that
we'll
very
push
much.
it
And
out.
thank you so much for having me on here and for all
Yeah,
the questions. I appreciate the
yeah.
time.
Anytime. Thanks for letting me be.
Oh, I've got all the Australian answers for you. Don't you
Right.
worry.
I loved it. It was great. It was great. So thanks so much, and the best of luck to you, and we'll talk soon.
Legend. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You too. Well, there you have it, everyone. Our conversation with Lily Grace. Lily, again, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us today. We love getting to know new people, and we love getting to know you. So thank you so much for taking the time. And how cool was it to have an Australian artist on the show? Like, I don't think we've never done that, or not. No, not. I never knew we had an Australian. If we did before, I don't even think we've had a Canadian. Oh, maybe we have. I don't know. But yeah, so thank you for coming on. Thank you everybody for listening today. Um, we do have Jason Aldean, Brooks and Dunn, Nate Smith, and Raylan on Friday over at Fenway. Maybe Posty and Jelly Roll on Saturday if that all works out. We'll see. Yeah, so we got a bunch of stuff coming up. Like I said, episode 300 on next Tuesday, episode 299 with our buddy Clayton Johnson on Friday. He's got a new EP out on Friday as well. And go check out Lily Grace's stuff, man. It's good. It's good stuff. It's it's pop country, which is fine. But it's great. It's good stuff. So thank you for being here. Thanks for taking the time, and we'll see you on Friday. Um, we'll see you next Tuesday for episode 300, and we'll see you down the road. Be good to each other, guys. Cheers.